As is tradition with this channel, it is once again time that we take a look at every single NHL ring and rank them from worst to best. I'm sure you remember recently the Florida Panthers were crowned as the 2024 Stanley Cup champions and their ring has been revealed and it is simply beautiful. However, this means that my last video is now outdated, so it's only right that we have a complete new ranking with updated opinions as well as this brand new ring. Like I mentioned in the last Stanley Cup rings videos, the cutoff will be 1980 because that is when the NHL officially started handing out rings year after year. Before then, the history was confusing with rings, cufflinks, even TV sets being in the rotation. So we have a total of 44 Stanley Cup rings to rank. Trust me, I've seen all the comments saying that you guys want to see me remake this video. Your comments have been heard. Thank you guys for your video suggestions and really helping the channel grow as of recent. If you're new, make sure to check out the channel for other NHL content as well as content across all 4 major sports, but let's rank these NHL rings from worst to best. Starting off the list, we have a plethora of Oilers rings from 44 to 41, all with very similar designs. At 44, we have the 87 Oilers ring. At 43, we have the 90 Oilers ring. At 42, we have the 88 Oilers ring, and at 41, we have the 85 ring. All of these rings have the very similar pattern of displaying no color, but the main focus being the amount of large diamonds on the front, representing their Stanley Cup championships, a part of the 85 ring, which only has one in the center. At 40, we have the Islanders 1983 ring. Once again, the diamonds on the front is indicative of the amount of Stanley Cup championships they have, but I personally prefer the black background behind the diamonds as opposed to the rest of the diamonds, as it really makes these diamonds pop out more. At 39, we have yet another Oilers ring, but this is actually their 84 ring, which displays some color. Due to that fact, I prefer it over all the previous Oiler rings mentioned. At 38, we have the 1980 Islanders ring. Very similar to the previous ring, except I like the blue better, it's a little more prominent, and I slightly prefer the shape of the ring as well as the sharper lettering. At 37, we have their ring from the very next season, their 81 ring. Hence the 2 diamonds in the center, it's combined with a nice blue background, and a pretty small ring face. At 36, we have the 1992 Penguins ring. Just a very polished design with the 2 diamonds in the center, the nice black background, and the encircling diamonds around the black, which represents the stands. At 35, we have the 1982 Islanders ring. The most interesting and unique design that you'll see on the front face of the ring. It looks super cool. I like how it's completely different from every other ring in its time span. And then you have the 3 diamonds down the center, representing the 3 Stanley Cups. At 34, we have the 1995 Devils ring. Maybe a bit of a letdown from the time that it was created, but finally we are starting to see rings that incorporate the team's logo on the front. I wish the border of the logo was a different color than that light gold, just to allow the logo to pop out a bit more. At 33, we have the 89 Flames ring. Same style, but just better execution, making the entire logo gold so it really pops out of the face more. At 32, we have the 1994 Rangers ring. The logo would have been nice on this ring, but the diagonal lettering isn't that bad, just pretty simple. At 31, we have the 93 Canadiens ring. This is the first ring to feature the Stanley Cup as the main face of the ring. And featured in that Stanley Cup are 24 diamonds, representing the 24 Stanley Cup championships that the Canadiens had at this point. At number 30, we have the 1986 Canadiens ring. I think I slightly prefer the logo design rather than the Stanley Cup, but once again, they are huge on their championships. 23 diamonds featured within the C and the H, once again being a major flex to the amount of their Stanley Cup championships. At 29, we have the 98 Red Wings ring. The Red Wings have an amazing logo, so that helps their case out a lot, but this ring just takes care of the job. The logo in its bright red pops against those white diamonds, and the rest of the formatting of this ring looks nice. At 28, we have the 96 Avalanche ring. No color specifically on the logo here, but that is more than made up for with that red background behind it and the simple lettering on the outside. At 27, we have the 99 Stars ring. Not too much detail or design included with this ring, but with that green coloring, you get a lot of contrast here as the logo really just sticks out against the white background. At 26, we have the 2007 Ducks ring. An intricately designed Stanley Cup in the background, and you have the Ducks webbed foot logo on the front. Just imagine how good this ring would have been if it featured that Mighty Ducks logo. At 25, we have the 2008 Red Wings ring. All things considered, a newer ring, only coming out 17 years ago, so you'd expect it to be heavily designed, which it is, but there is a huge lack of color on this ring, which puts it down here. This is the same principle present with the 2010 Blackhawks ring. Once again, great design. I mean, the logo is crafted nicely. I love the centered Stanley Cup in the center, and the rest of the borders look great. But the lack of color is really damaging to this ring. This is very similar to their 2015 ring, which takes the 23 spot. I prefer this ring due to the more circular, rounded shape. We are now at number 22, which means we're in the upper half of rings on this list, and kicking us off, we have the 2000 Devils ring. Obviously not as detailed as the previous 3 rings mentioned, but this ring gets the upper hand due to that popping red color of the Devils logo in the front. The red looks great against the white diamonds, and I kind of enjoy that interesting grid-shaped diamond design. At number 21, we have the 1997 Red Wings ring. Considering that this ring is 28 years old, it has aged magnificently, and part of that is just due to the Red Wings logo being so beautiful. You can honestly put it on anything and it'll look great. The red and gold background complement it nicely. At 20, we have the 2011 Bruins ring. Just like those Blackhawks rings, great design on the front, but no color on the face of the ring. But you do have some Bruins yellow on the sides of this ring. But still, you would love to see color on the face of the ring nonetheless. At 19, we have the 1991 Penguins ring. This ring was made 6 years before that stunning Red Wings ring, and honestly, it's even better. It's the perfect definition of being a simple ring but not boring. The colors of white, black, and gold are all meshed perfectly on this ring, perfectly balanced as well, and the Penguins logo looks great. At 18, we have the 2001 Avalanche ring. This ring is carried by the logo. The rest of the ring looks pretty mediocre at best. The logo is where this ring shines. You have that beautiful A that's colored red, blue sapphires along the outside ring, and you also have that hockey puck gliding across the center. At 17, we have the 2009 Penguins ring. It follows the very common design of this late 2000s, early 2010s era of the Stanley Cup behind the main logo, and they do it nicely here. Plenty of color from that yellow Penguins triangle. At 16, we have the 2002 Red Wings ring. Now, I've already expressed how much I love the Red Wings logo, but once again, it just looks absolutely amazing here, well crafted above the Stanley Cup trophy. At 15, we have the 2003 Devils ring. I really enjoy the format of this ring. You have the Devils logo in the center, which looks beautiful with those ruby red diamonds. And I also like the black ring around the logo, and then the rest of the ring once again has more of a grid-shaped diamond design, which I enjoy. At 14, we have the 2006 Hurricanes ring. This is a very cool use of the Hurricanes logo, as they make it appear as the Hurricane is wrapping around the Stanley Cup. It's a very clever design, and that's honestly all this ring needs, along with that bit of red and black to really shine. At 13, we have the 2017 Penguins ring. It's a more modern ring, and because of that, I think it struggles a bit with oversimplification here, as there really isn't that many layers to this ring. They pretty much have the center penguin design, and the rest of the ring is all white besides the Stanley Cup Champions text, which still looks great, don't get me wrong. Also, their 5 Stanley Cup championships is symbolized by the 5 over the penguin's eye, which is just a smart little twist considering that the eye and eyebrow on the penguin already kind of look like the number 5, so I like how they repurposed it. At 12, we have the 2012 Kings ring. Although there isn't any vibrant color on this ring, it makes sense because the Kings logo is black and white, so I think even though there's no color, it doesn't negatively affect this ring. That being said, the design is simply amazing. A super crisp and detailed Stanley Cup in the background. The Kings logo looks great in the center with the crown in the bottom half, and it's just a very simple, super clean ring. At number 11, we have the 2016 Penguins ring. Even though it is older than the previous Penguins ring mentioned, I do like the design better. There's a lot more going on besides the logo itself, and I think the logo itself looks much better considering the penguin is its true color of black. The goldish yellow located behind the penguin as well as behind the word Stanley Cup Champions adds the perfect amount of color that this ring needs. We are finally entering our top 10 Stanley Cup rings, and they are all simply stunning. Kicking us off, we have the 2021 Lightning ring. The Lightning have 3 Stanley Cup rings, and all of them are in the top 10, which shows how high quality these rings tend to be. The white and blue combination on all these rings is a perfect color combo, and they mesh together well. They're dispersed perfectly. Looking at the face of the ring, it's simply incredible. The Lightning logo itself in nature is pretty simple, but on the face of the ring, it looks incredible with the stacked blue sapphire diamonds. Just a super symmetrical ring as well. More blue along the sides and the top and bottom. One of the more crisp rings that you'll see. At number 9, we have the 2022 Avalanche ring. Once again, a very modern looking ring, as there's a lot of open white space, which I feel like could be utilized a bit better, but let's look at the pros on this ring. The logo looks simply incredible. The red and blue are used perfectly, and the complete Avalanche logo is nicely overlaid on the Stanley Cup trophy. At number 8, we have the 2013 Blackhawks ring. The center of the face of this ring is overflowing with that reddish maroon color, which looks great. The Blackhawks logo right above it, which I wish there was some color in the logo itself, but once again, there's already a ton of color on the front. But pretty much that is what is carrying most of this ring, as there really isn't anything notable besides some cool designs on the side. At 7, we have the 2018 Capitals ring. Compared to the last ring, I just think the color is more evenly distributed. Also more of a variety of color, as we see blue, red, and yellow, and the open spaces in this ring are filled up by that nice pearly white. The Capitals logo is smack dab in the center, and I love the ring of red around it. At number 6, we have the 2014 Kings ring. I'm a huge fan of this ring, mostly because of its super interesting shape. The shape is morphed directly after the LA Kings logo itself, so it has that bad shape, kind of like a pentagon. But the execution on this is flawless. The logo looks great overall. There's no color, but there doesn't need to be. Also, the center being individual black diamonds rather than just a solid black coloring is really beautiful. Entering our top 5, we have the brand new 2024 Florida Panthers ring. Kind of similar to the Kings ring in the fact that the shape of the ring takes place after the Panthers logo. Overall, you have that banner shape, which looks super nice on a ring. The Panthers logo also looks stunning, a perfect blend of color. The primary Panther is yellow, but there's also a lot of blue within the ear and under the neck. And the red eye is perfect for giving it a pop of color and also giving that ferocity to the Panther. I'm surprised that this ring doesn't have the ability to open up, as that's been the gimmick with a lot of rings across all major sports in recent years. And that is why at number 4, I slightly prefer the Las Vegas Golden Knights ring. I think I do prefer the face of the Panthers ring a bit better, but let's look at the face of this Knights ring. Also stunning. The Golden Knights have one of my favorite logos in the league. I love the helmet making the shape of the V as well. A tiny black background behind the logo, and then you just have that overflow of gold. And then a little bit of red and white on the sides to break up the color a bit. But like I previously mentioned, the super cool feature with this ring is the ability to open it up, and there's a miniature T-Mobile arena located within. And on the ice rink itself, locations of all 9 goals scored in the final game of that Stanley Cup final. Such a cool feature added to an already cool looking ring. At number 3, we have the 2004 Lightning ring. This ring is one of my personal favorites, as I absolutely love the fact that the Stanley Cup has that Tampa Bay Lightning blue in the center. It's probably the best looking Stanley Cup on any of these rings. And the rest of the ring design just goes around the Stanley Cup. And then you have the lightning bolt on the front of it. What a ring, and it still looks magnificent 21 years later. At number 2, we have yet another Lightning ring. This is their 2020 ring. The perfect balance of blue and white. I love the absolute color burst of those blue sapphires all around the center. On top of those sapphires, you have the Stanley Cup, and on top of the Stanley Cup, you have even more sapphires with the Lightning logo itself. It's such a sharp ring, and the cool feature with this ring is that you can rotate the Stanley Cup, and it uncovers a black diamond in between 2 hockey pucks, which represents the puck that is dropped to start each game. But at number 1, for the best NHL ring of all time, we have the 2019 St. Louis Blues ring. Year after year, I've constantly put this at my number 1 placement because it's perfect. I don't think there's been a better color scheme on a ring, a better mixture, perfect balance of colors, a beautiful logo over the top of the Stanley Cup, blue, yellow, and white all combining perfectly. This ring doesn't have any special features, but it really doesn't even need to. The face and the size of this ring do enough where I really don't think that there's anything else this ring particularly needs. It's just simply eye candy. They did a fantastic job at designing this ring, and that's why I believe that it is the greatest Stanley Cup ring in NHL history. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you guys did enjoy my ranking of the 44 Stanley Cup rings since they officially started consistently giving these out. Let me know what your list is down in the comment section below, or any other interesting facts about these rings that I've mentioned that I did not cover. Any advice is appreciated. Feel free to check out my channel for more sports content, including the NHL, and I will see you guys in the next Heaps video.